I think this whole narrative about some threat to Russia, it's another part of Russian propaganda. In reality, Ukraine never threatens Russia. What we saw in our own history, back after Ukraine got our independence, Ukraine had the third biggest nuclear weapon warhead in the world. We refused from that. And that was the Budapest Memorandum signed, where 4 countries, including Russia itself, signed and agreed to respect and protect Ukraine's sovereign borders, Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity. What it turned out back in 10 years ago in 2014, Russia occupied Crimea, which is internationally recognized Ukrainian territory, eastern parts of Donetsk and Luhansk region. And we since then were warning, because we saw what Russia did in Georgia, and it was nothing about NATO. It was just invading the independent country, taking part of its territory. The same Russia did in Ukraine, and all the atrocities Russia supported in Syria. And we were the ones who were worrying that Russia won't stop there. Russia has the ambition to erase Ukraine. So Russia has the ambition just to withdraw the borders of the sovereign countries. It's neglect all the rule-based order that existed since the Second World War. And so what Ukraine is fighting for now, definitely we are fighting for our own country, because 40 million nation, it's very similar to the population of Canada, wants to live in an independent sovereign country. The second thing, if we all believe in democracy, we as Ukrainians made the decision that we want to integrate into Europe. We want to integrate in NATO. And it's not for Putin to decide what 40 million Ukrainians in their sovereign country, in their sovereign borders, are willing to do. And today, overwhelming majority of Ukrainians, over 85%, supports European integration. What is the real threat of Putin? Is that successful, independent Western Ukraine is a huge danger for Putin and his regime.
Why would that be?
Because
you're not aggressive.
Because that gives Russians understanding that Putin failed on his policies. Huge Russia was the huge natural resources and people living in a poverty. Russian economy is smaller than Canadian economy, but it's much bigger in population. If you see the well-being of the people in Russia, they are living in poverty. The only wealthy people in Russia are the oligarchs and people close to Putin and KGB. And successful Ukraine is an existential threat to Putin and his regime.